Okay, so apparently that's happening. Hi! Can you all hear me okay? Let me see here, just adjust a few things. Oh good. I'm glad to see everybody can hear me all right. How is everyone? Yeah, someone challenged me to be fire, so here we are. We'll just give it like a couple of minutes and oh, there's Misha in the background, yeah. As you can see, Misha got his bark box today. So, if he turns into a problem, then we'll just give him something out of that. How's everybody doing today? Oh wow, we're already up to 5 people. It is a whiskey day. Yep. Oh, he knows he's a cutie too. That's the big problem. So, I mean, top of the order, just to like maybe bolster our numbers a little bit and get some more people in here, you are all welcome to hit the share button on this. You're welcome to share it to Twitter, your personal Facebook profiles, really wherever you want. And hopefully we can get some more people in here watching. Yeah, I like the setup now. I like the new camera. The only thing I don't like is like I feel like it's very like zoomed in on me, and I'm uncomfortable with that. So here we are. But that's okay. And it's also zoomed in on me in very high definition. So like I'm already uncomfortable with how I look half the time. Yeah, I had to take some like bomb selfies before we started the stream, just to make sure I had them. Kirsty, you're so complimentary. I love you. Okay, so we'll give everybody a minute to share that. I can like sort of see the viewer counts here. So yeah, I really do like the chat on the YouTube stream better. It's weird because I kind of have it in 2 different places on my screen. I have the sort of like live one, and then I have, hey Kevin. Yeah, but I have the sort of like live one, and then I have like the one over here that I can interact with. So that's really nice. Hey there, questioning biology. I'm gonna have to get used to the fact that I can't see people's real names on here. So that's gonna be something. And for anybody who's curious, it's Evan Williams. No, I mean, we're at 6 people right now. I think we're at 6 people right now, so I'm not counting on it. Actually, if someone wanted to go and share this to the group just to let people know this is happening, that would be really wonderful. I could do that, but that would require me using my big clacky keyboard. And I don't think I want that on the stream. So, I don't know if, Joanna, if you would like to do that or not. Misha's very interested in something. Oh, goodness. So, how is everybody's quarantine gone? I did this look to go exactly nowhere. Also, apparently, I guess it's like YouTube etiquette. I'm supposed to like ask you all to like and subscribe or something like that. I don't know. I watched a couple streams as like practice, but oh my goodness, one hair killing me. Curls, I swear. Okay, we'll give it a minute, and then we'll just kind of introduce the topic and do a couple like top of the order business items. Of course, I practiced. What? Oh, you mean like studied? Yeah, well, I wanted to not do a terrible job on a YouTube stream. I feel like they're different. Um, hmm. Okay. I'm trying not to have a whole bunch of dead air because it is very live. Alright, so, some business items right off the top of the order. I'm Evie Winters. I am from the Sounds Like, oh god, I'm going to butcher this. Sounds like you need to be educated on transgender individuals, but okay, group. And I'm one of the admins there. I am a transgender woman. I'm binary transgender woman, so as opposed to a non-binary trans woman. Thank you for calling out the Virgo. So in the past, we've done a whole bunch of these, but now we're starting to kind of like move them to a format where I can actually do the questions and answering faster. And Facebook had this real awkward and terrible like 15 to 30-second delay that was really just ruining everything. So this is our first one on YouTube, and I'm really excited about it. So if you're just joining in, or if you're joining the stream, I would love it if you would just like say hello in the chat, just so I can kind of see who's here. And today's topic du jour is Misha got bored. And today's topic du jour is dysmorphia and dysphoria, which are two separate things, but often come in pairs. I happen to be one of the people who has that pair, so that's going to be our topic. And I've got kind of a rough outline here. Plant role models, wonderful. I've got kind of a rough outline of things I can just introduce, and I'll probably just like talk at y'all for a couple minutes, and then I can start taking some questions. I think a lot of people don't know where to start with a conversation about dysmorphia or dysphoria. I should probably reverse those. Gender dysphoria is really the more common thing to have as a transgender person. So, top of the order. Let's start with dysphoria. So I actually wrote an article about dysphoria on my website, eviewinters.com, and that was one of the first ones I ever did too that kind of like made any sort of headway. I feel like people really resonated with that because like dysphoria is so hard to explain. The dictionary definition of dysphoria is very much like I'm uncomfortable in my gender, and for some reason that makes me miserable, and that's not a great description of anything, right? Like that doesn't give cisgender folks any real sense of empathy for the experience of like what that means to have gender dysphoria. And likewise, I think it leads to people underestimating how bad that hurts, and how seriously it can screw up your day or week, or your whole life. So dysphoria is discomfort in your gender in a dictionary way, which I don't think really serves us well to talk about it in terms of dictionary terms. So kind of for the remainder of this live stream, I probably won't try to dip into those. Dysmorphia is, how do I want to put this? Dysmorphia is like looking at your own features and seeing them as distorted and flawed. Incredibly so. Like, enough that you would have surgeries to fix them, enough that you would do extreme weight loss or weight gain or body modifications in other ways. You would seek to cover that with makeup, like a lot of it, like probably too much, like enough that it was very obvious. The thing is that no amount of reassurance is ever going to show you or teach you that that thing that you see wrong with you is actually not nearly as flawed or problematic as you believe it is. And so dysmorphia, I'm probably going to mix those two terms up during this live stream, and just like, apologies in advance. Not much I can do about that. Because they're very similar words. Привет, господин. Hi. Misha has come to join me. Hi, buddy. So, dysmorphia is like, the way I describe them is the difference between something is wrong, something is flawed, and like, there's a disconnect here, right? Dysphoria is my body is not right for me. Dysmorphia is my body is not right in some cosmic way and needs to be fixed. Both of those conditions can lead us to be doing kind of like dramatic changes to our bodies in order to correct them. But they're different, right? Like, there's a point where you can treat your gender dysphoria enough that you stop needing to do more, that you stop needing to treat it. Dysmorphia is a little different and a little more nefarious. So with dysmorphia, it's more like you're probably never going to completely feel like that part of you is fine. Like, I have dysmorphia largely about my face. And I also experience dysmorphia about my body shape a little bit. Okay, so we've got a comment here from Plant Role Models. It says, I think dysphoria comes from an accurate understanding of what we look like, and dysmorphia is based... Oh, wait, I can put this in the chat. Hold on, I'm just going to do it. Boom. So, here, that should be on the screen now. So, you can see it here. Comes from an accurate understanding of what we look like, but it feels wrong. And dysmorphia is based on an inability to see what we actually look like. And I think that's actually a pretty good read. There's a lot about my body that I'm aware of that is not flawed. That, like, I look at my body and it's fine in a lot of ways. I want to fix it because it's not right for me, right? There are parts of my body that are otherwise perfectly fine. If they were on somebody who is the appropriate gender, they wouldn't bother me one bit. If they weren't on, but for dysmorphia, like, I have dysmorphia really badly about, like, my hairline. And my facial features. I always tell people that I feel like I look very much like Pumpkinhead from the horror movies, the 80s horror movies. And I'm going to take this down now. This new software is very cool. I'm very excited to be using it, but I am new at it, so... All of that to say, yeah, you can have both dysphoria and dysmorphia at the same time. They are each incredibly nefarious. They pair up in really weird ways. For instance, every month I tend to get a little bit of a cycle. And my cycle causes me to feel incredibly dysphoric, but also dysmorphic. I view my features as incredibly exaggerated. And really super, like, problematic. Oh, good, look at that. I can, like, zoom back out a little bit. This is fun. But also the pain of the dysphoria is there when I'm in that state, right? So dysphoria has me like, this body is wrong for me and very incredibly flawed for me. Dysmorphia has like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to fix this thing that I'm stuck in. And that makes me feel very hopeless. Yeah, body dysmorphia is actually really common in, like, as a mental health problem outside. Here, I'm going to put this on the screen. Body dysmorphia is actually really common with folks who have eating disorders, which leads them to overcorrect, right? Like, to think like, oh, I haven't lost enough weight, or or I need to gain weight, but I think normally it's like losing weight, or I need to put on muscle, right? Or I need to do something to modify my body. In my case, I have like a cleft palate on this side, right here, and well, you all are welcome to ask questions at any point, and I will put them up on the screen. Like, this is not a lecture, so please, for the love of God, ask questions. Where was I? Oh, right. So, I've known a lot of folks with eating disorders, and we can actually somewhat bond over the fact that we can't really understand what we look like, that we view our features as somewhat exaggerated or distorted. And it's weird how it doesn't work retroactively. I saw an old photograph of me back before I started transitioning, and I did not feel dysmorphic or dysphoric about what I was seeing in that photograph because I have so much distance from that person. And I thought that was really interesting. That, like, I don't ever want to be that person, but if I had been a man, I would have thought that person was like reasonably attractive, which is weird. It's weird to think that now, especially since I hated that body so much, but it's because I was stuck in it, and it wasn't mine. I can see the sun going down. It's totally affecting my lighting. I tried leaving the window open. It's not working. So I don't know if anybody has like a question about dysmorphia or dysphoria that you want to pitch into the chat. I'm still kind of learning. So, in fact, I'm going to see here if I can start, like, just take the, I know it's on Facebook. Oh, yeah, Missy, if you wouldn't mind that would be really helpful. Just putting a link in the chat, that would be really nice. And also there's a link to the group in the description, I think, for this video, soundsliketransedu.com. And you're going to be able to actually stream this here, or stream this on that website directly, which is going to be really nice. Yeah, so body dysmorphia affects kind of everybody. Gender dysphoria, I'm pretty sure, universally affects trans people, which is to say that all people with gender dysphoria, as far as I know, are indeed trans. Not all people who are trans have gender dysphoria, which is, I know, a hot topic for a lot of folks, which is like, do you need dysphoria to be a transgender person? And the answer to that is no. Pretty emphatically no, actually. I would say that, like, oh, here we go. We got ourselves a question. So I'm going to wait for this to pop up, and then we'll put it on the screen. Boom. Oh, gosh, I love this so much. Like, just so much. Okay. What can your friends do to help support you when you're feeling incredibly dysphoric? Like, what works for you, if there's something that works? This is hard. And the reason is like, there's two different ways to answer this question. There's like, what's going to get me through this storm? And then there's like, what's going to make me feel better? And the answer to what's going to make me feel better is probably nothing. Other than treating my gender problems. And the reason I say that is, like, if it was something that could be solved with some soup and, a day under the blanket, if that could make it better. We probably wouldn't need to transition. Has a solution to that. I would hope that'd still be on the table, but I think a lot more people would push back on us in the medical community if that treatment had just ever worked. Ever at all. I'm going to turn up this brightness a little bit. It's helping a little. Really nuking that background, but whatever. So, the other part of that question is like, how do you get through it? And for that, I treat it like a sick day. I know we're all tired of hearing about the flu or anything that sounds like the flu, but that's kind of what I compare it to, which is like, I have two different kind of modes I get into when I'm dysphoric. One is I wear this giant oversized hoodie that hides my body, and then like it goes down to my thighs, like down almost to my knees. It's practically a dress. And then I'll wear that with some leggings. And that more or less hides my body pretty much entirely. And so if I can't see it, at least the amount of like triggers for me feeling dysphoric are relatively lower. But that doesn't make it go away. I still need to like give myself love and attention so that I can just get through it. Because it's like weather. You can't make the rain stop, but you can make yourself comfortable while the storm's happening. So how would I put this? My partner Kira is really good about helping me through dysphoric episodes. Really, she treats it like I'm sick. She comes over with snacks. We watch a movie. We really just focus on making me comfortable. If I don't need to be functional on a dysphoric day, I'm not. If I don't need to be functional, I'm going to be in that bed, probably just messaging people, and definitely not taking selfies, and definitely not like painting up my face or putting on makeup or really doing a lot of self-care. And that can be really problematic because self-care is actually really important when you're dysphoric. But getting through a dysphoric episode is almost always about waiting. And I hate that because trans people's lives are really full of waiting. We're always waiting to take the next step, or we have like a minimum year before we can have surgery. Waiting. I don't know if that really answered your question entirely, Kirsty, but so if you know somebody is feeling dysphoric that day, like stiff upper lip is not a good thing to say to somebody. Please don't. I would say something. Honestly, I would avoid the topic almost entirely unless they choose to talk to you about it. And anything to distract them from it is probably good. Now, I saw another question in here, and I'm going to click this out, and I'm going to add this one. Gosh, I love this so much. Alright, are concerns about discomfort with one's voice part of dysphoria or dysmorphia, or is that more or less a separate topic? I don't know if a person can have voice dysmorphia. I've never heard that, but dysphoria caused by one's voice is, oh god. I mean, that's incredibly common. It's really funny. My father has like a country music voice. My dad has like a really good voice for a man. I was starting to get a voice very much like that one. And I won't, even trying to do that voice makes me feel very dysphoric. So I don't do it. But I put a lot of work into voice training because my voice would have given me away. It matters to me very much that people see a woman when they look at me, and the way they hear me influences what they see. Right? Excuse me. So, I have dysphoria about my voice. I worry about it a lot, actually. And I think I do voice training probably like like real honest to God practice every few days. But my voice is probably the one thing I think about the most, honestly, like voice and hair. Hair, body hair of any kind makes me incredibly dysphoric. So like every morning I get up and I do this voice exercise where I'll be like, heat from fire, fire from heat. Heat from fire, fire from heat. Heat from fire, fire from heat. And I'll just practice that over and over and over and over. And then like that kind of gets my voice a little higher and a little more breathy. And then I kind of like walk that back to where I would need to be normally. And I think you can already hear like a little bit of the difference there. Like just for me doing that exercise, because I'm so used to how that trains me to like change my voice. Okay, so Takira, did that answer your question like at all? I hope so. There's a little bit of a lag here. It's like 5 to 10 seconds, it seems like, so I'm trying not to have a whole bunch of dead space. I don't even know if Takira's still here. I can't really see who's in or out. But I hope that was a decent answer to that. Like, voice dysphoria is incredibly common, and probably, I think, one of the most common trans experiences that really cuts across all of the genders. I know a lot of my trans masculine friends and trans men, really one of the first things they go looking for as they're transitioning, as they start hormones, is for their voice to drop. They're very excited for that, and that's such a huge moment for them. Of course, for trans women, that's not really on the table. There are surgical options for us, but like, they're not incredibly, apparently the difference can be a lot, but like they're relatively new, and you'll almost certainly have to go to another country to get one of the newer ones. There's a surgeon in South Korea that does a voice changing surgery that apparently is just absolutely amazing, and honestly it's like on the table for me. But I just do voice training right now. But yeah, like every day I wake up and I'm like, oh God, my voice. Like, no, I need to like get myself in the right place almost every day. So, Takira, that is very kind of you to say about my voice. Thank you. I still get nervous about hearing myself like over a microphone. Sometimes I hear my voice back in videos from a week or two ago, and it's a lot. Gosh, if it was only that expensive here, Missy, that'd be wonderful. I think the one in the, I think the surgery in South Korea is actually like this like new thing. Like, I think the surgeon there is literally the only person that performs it. Let's see here, I'll get this off the screen. So, like, this here, I'm trying to figure this out. Yeah, this here, this is exciting. I can, like, point to stuff on the screen. How cool is that? Yeah, I think, especially for folks who sing, first of all, like, your voice will change, like, your default voice will change if you do a lot of voice training. I don't think I could deliberately get myself back to my old voice now. It would seem forced, because I've like done so much physical exercise to like push my Adam's apple up. But also like my default sits higher anyway now, and like more feminine. Like it doesn't sound great. It sounds like I have a cold, but like it's not it's not super masculine anymore, even by default, even without me doing anything. So like I would really have to push my voice down on purpose in ways that I'm not willing to do because it makes me feel like crap. I did it once because I thought it would be funny, and it wasn't funny. It made me miserable for the rest of the night that I could even do it. Let me get this off the screen because now I have a question here. Oh wait, nope, it goes over here. So I've got this here. How has my dysphoria shifted over time as I've transitioned? That's actually a really good question. I'm so glad you asked that because my partner was noticing that the other day. So I think dysphoria, sorry, comes, see there, I did it. I promised I would, and it happened. I think dysphoria is about attention. It's about what you can see or feel or hear in yourself. Like if you don't speak, you don't have dysphoria about your voice because you don't hear you, right? 1 second. So, when I was pre-transition, the things that caused me to feel incredibly dysphoric were the shape of my body. Facial hair was one of those things. The sound of my voice was one of those things. And also there was dysphoria about stuff that was missing on my body. Stuff that like I would look down and I would expect to see breasts. Like kind of intuitively. And then they wouldn't be there. So those were the things that really caused me to feel super dysphoric at first. And so they caused me to feel like, oh, well, if I only fix these things, I won't feel dysphoric anymore, right? Wrong. Not how it went down. So what ended up happening was as I started fixing things, other things took the spotlight. So as I was able to get my voice trained, as I was able to get my voice a little more feminine, a little more passable so that people don't question me when I'm out, the dysphoria didn't go away. It just moved to the next thing. Excuse me. It is allergy season. So I didn't think when I first started transitioning that I had bottom dysphoria or had enough of it to care about. That was wrong. That was really wrong. I'm actually very dysphoric about my lower half. I'm also very dysphoric about facial features on me that I didn't even notice before I started transitioning. I'm very conscientious about my hairline. I'm very aware of my nose. I'm very aware of, like, I have, like, not the most prominent brow bone that I've ever seen on someone who was assigned male at birth, but it's enough to bother me. These are all features now that my dysphoria has, like, picked up on. And then my dysmorphia exaggerates them. So I see features in me, like my brow bone, or my hairline, or my nose, and I see them as incredibly distorted because I'm dysphoric about them. And so really that's where the two things kind of combine, and that's very problematic. So when it comes to correcting facial features, when it comes to getting facial feminization surgery, I worry very much about making good choices. And so that's going to be a lot of like me working with doctors and my friends and my therapist to understand, like, in my facial features, what is reasonable to fix or to correct instead of fix. I'm trying to be better with my language about this. So yeah, like my dysphoria absolutely shifted targets. Like I used to have like a very straight up and down body, and now, like, I mean, I'll just stand up and see if we can actually do like a little demo here. I'm not so straight up and down now. Oh God, I'm like mirrored. but I have like a curve. I have like hips. You know, I have a chest now and a little bit. So I don't concern myself too much with that anymore. It's just kind of like I'm interested in it. I'm watching my figure change, but like it doesn't bother me. Not in the way it did. Instead, I put a lot of work into fixing other things about me. Of course, you know, my genitalia have really come to the forefront as a problem. And, you know, my facial features have really taken over, especially as I've gotten rid of the facial hair entirely. So, like, it's been weird to see what comes out when I'm feeling dysphoric. I'm going to take this one down, and I'm going to move to Missy's question here. How would I describe my sensation of dysphoria to someone who has never experienced it? I describe it like an itch. So I have an autoimmune problem that actually makes me really sensitive to sunlight. So like if I get a sunburn, my body will attack the sunburn area, and it turns into something kind of like I think people call it like the devil's itch or something like that. And that's hell, but it's an itch, right? And so there's this itch and you can't scratch it. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to endure it. Or like when I was younger, I would be like sitting there eating like my maple oatmeal in the morning. And I'd be trying to watch TV, and I always remember like Beast Wars and Power Rangers were on. And sometimes, because I grew up in like rural West Virginia, sometimes when it would rain, you would get the audio from one channel, but you would get the video from another. And like that disconnect, like the audio was fine. There's nothing wrong with the Weather Channel. The video was fine. There was nothing wrong with the Power Rangers, right? They were fine. Both of these were perfect. Together they were wrong. And that's dysphoria. That's very much like, oh, this thing is really wrong. But it's the pairing that's wrong. It's not the individual items. So like, I actually put a lot of like visual metaphors. There's a subreddit, I think it's called like Mildly Infuriating. And sometimes I go there and I'm like, oh, these people are experiencing dysphoria in like a small way because they see like pizza slices that are cut incorrectly. Or I think I saw a picture one time of like a fork. There's no way you could use this fork. It was like chained to the handle. It would have been completely useless. So there's a whole bunch of features like or pictures in the subreddit where I'm like, this is a small taste of dysphoria. If you ever want to feel dysphoric, you can go there and feel the frustration you feel at looking at some of these pictures, and that's like a touch of it. Now imagine that's your body or your voice. It's the worst feeling in the world, honestly. Like I felt a lot of very miserable pain in my lifetime, and there's nothing quite like dysphoria. So I hope that that is useful for answering this question. Okay, I'm gonna like learn how to point to stuff on my screen. Gonna close this down because I see other questions are coming in. Okay, have I done laser or electrolysis on my face? And if so, how many sessions and how long has it taken me? Yes, hold on. So have I done laser or electrolysis? So far only laser. I have like Italian American heritage, or Italian heritage, but I'm Italian American. So my facial hair was like very thick, very coarse. and like very dense. Mediterranean girl body hair in general is like a lot. I get dysphoric about body hair in general, but of course facial hair is very noticeable because it casts a shadow on your face and all of that. I've had laser. I think I'm on session. I think I just did my 6th one, maybe. And so, the thing about the laser sessions, is that they're a little wild. Like, I'm gonna do electrolysis too. I'm gonna do laser, and then I'm gonna have electrolysis to clean up whatever the laser can't kill. I will say that laser hurts like hell. If you are at all intolerant to pain, you should take the numbing solution that they offer you. So yeah, I've had 6-ish sessions. My last one was May 20 something, I want to say. And so you do those every like 4 to 6 weeks. I'm sure hoping that I can have my next session at the 6-week mark. Right now I'm scheduled for May 1st. We will see. I'm probably going to have probably 2 or 3 more laser sessions. The sides of my face are pretty much clear. I don't know if you can see, but also here, now I've got it covered up with makeup. There's a little bit of a shadow. I'm currently in the middle of what's called shedding. So like you get lasered and then your body like ejects the hair. So that process, the ejecting of the hair, the shedding, makes me feel incredibly dysphoric. So the first few days after laser hair removal, like shaving does nothing because the hair is being pushed out faster than you can cut it. You can cut it and an hour later it's going to be back. So like those are days I just stay home. Of course that's not so much of a problem right now, is it? So I'm going to take this question off here. And I'm going to put the other one up. Do I experience gait or posture dysphoria? I actually do get dysphoric about my posture. I tend to carry all my stress on my shoulders, which causes them to kind of hunch up. And as you can see, that makes me look more masculine. Not great. So I actually have like a posture corrector that I wear when I'm at home. And it kind of like helps me to like pull my shoulders down and back. And so like that makes me look more feminine. I do concern myself with it. It bothers me a lot. Is that a common struggle? Like, do folks in the comment section have a lot of like posture dysphoria? I'm gonna put this comment up here. Oh my goodness. You know what? I will actually like go back and I'll put a link to it in the description for this video. For the posture corrector. So this, I am actually like, how can I put this? I'm a little superstitious about medical treatments that cause me to experience pain. And my superstition is that if I do something to mitigate that pain, if I take the numbing solution, that it won't work as well. Because the pain is part of how it works. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Some people outside. Who are not supposed to be out there right now. So every time I go into a laser session, I'm like, no, turn it up. Like, I want you to hurt me. Like, because I also feel like the more it hurts, the more effective it's going to be. So, like, I'm pretty sure everybody at my laser office thinks I have, like, a pain kink now. I don't. I'm good. Um, I actually don't like hurting. I just feel like I need to. Um, yeah, right. People need to go inside. It's very frustrating. So I'm gonna take this off of here. Let's see here. Here we go. Right. So like, gosh, the thing is like with masculine presentation, right? Like there are tall men, there are short men. Um, larger men, thinner men, rounder men, broader men. I was always like very petite, even as a man, even as a masculine presenting person. And like just correcting your posture can make all the difference in the world. There are trans women who are otherwise entirely passable, but their posture will give them away. And I feel bad for them, but also like only because I know it bothers them, and that like correcting your posture is so difficult. So I'm gonna take this down. I'm just gonna start popping comments up here. Some of these are really good. So she's intending to minimize the impact HRT has had because of how I understand. Yeah, like I worry very much about my posture, like hiding my chest. I do have a little bit of I just like grope myself on TV, great, or on stream. I do have a little bit of a chest. And so, I worry about my posture, like minimizing that or making me just look more masculine. And so I try to be attentive to it. I try to like make sure my shoulders are down and back. Shoulders the worst. Now I've seen lots of women with hunched postures and all of that, but I do pretty universally see the shoulders things, so I try and like keep them back and down. My allergies are killing me. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions? Because I see we're like 5 people watching. It's so much easier to like get people kind of like into the stream and just kind of like casually browsing it when you're on Facebook. But here we go. Right? And like, we'll just take a little break here. You all are welcome to share this to whatever groups you want, or your own personal profile pages, or however. Yeah, right. Like, my allergies need to friggin' stop, because like every time I sneeze or cough, I'm like, oh god. No thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm gonna like check the post on Facebook and see if anybody has like got questions there. Oh, this looks ominous. Let's see here. If I go to the Sounds Like Trans EDU group, which you should be a part of. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. So there's not any questions in there. Yeah, well, it's not just like I'm paranoid, it's also like, oof, I just like don't even want to think about respiratory symptoms right now. In general. Not that I'm around anybody really, but like, needs to stop. Yeah, no, so like I'm immunocompromised a little bit, so if I get it, I'm in trouble. And it's like that meme, it's like, I'm in danger. So does anybody have any questions about dysphoria or dysmorphia, or the differences between those two? Because also like I'm planning to do just like a general AMA about trans stuff, with like the last 30 minutes. So like if we're not having a whole bunch of questions about that, that's fine. We can move on to that section. And here's one. Outside influences. Oh my gosh. These always make me feel weird, right? Because it's like something I can't control. But like, there's a little bit of how do I put this? When a server comes to the table that I'm at, like when I'm out with my partner, and it's like, oh, hey ladies, I'm not concerned. When someone comes to the table and they're like, hey guys, can I get you something? Then I'm concerned. Then I'm like automatically like hyper aware of my appearance, and very like worried. I realize that I should not be encouraging folks to assume gender, but that is something that makes me feel better. Other outside influences. Okay, this is a weird one. Lighting. Like, cool light, makes me feel more dysphoric because I know it brings out any like dark spaces on my face that respond to that, which would be facial hair. Beard shadow is a bluish tint, so like cool or white lighting tends to really bring that out. So when I'm feeling like dysphoric or I have a shadow, I won't go to Walmart or stores like that. Other outside influences. I'm trying to think. Give me a second here. Those people outside are very much distracting me. Other weird one is somebody using my dead name. There are a lot of men out there who have my dead name, and people will call that. And like there's this momentary split reaction where my brain is still somewhat trained to respond to that. So my ears perk up every time I hear it, and it's like super frustrating. But then I'm again like hyper aware of my appearance, and whenever I get hyper aware of my appearance, that's a lot. Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna like do something to mitigate this noise. Okay, I hope that helps. Brain? Like that was loud. I'm gonna get some like soundproofing. Yeah, so like outside influences are like anybody like misgendering me or like using gender neutral terms for me deliberately. Like I hate being they them'd. I hate it so much. So like when people use they them for me and I hear it, I instantly correct them because I hate it. Anything that takes she her away from me makes me feel dysphoric. Which is not somebody else's fault, but I do go to fix that like instantly. Let's see here. I see a couple of tags. We're just going to go top of the line here. Where did you go? Oh, there you go. So here we go. Do I have any suggestions for supporting trans youth in regards to dysphoria? If you appropriately gender a trans youth, like someone who's preteen, that's going to go a long way, because before 8, 9, 10 years old, we all more or less have very similar bodies, right? Secondary sex characteristics haven't started developing, so there's less to be dysphoric about. Transition at that age tends to be very, very social, right? I'm dressing differently, I'm using a different name. I wish I had good advice for trans youth that's like, oh, here's how you can get through it, here's how you can make yourself feel less dysphoric. Social transition can help with some of that, but only if, social transition really relies on other people to participate and to be helpful. Using your correct name and pronouns and acknowledging you. Sorry, hold on. So, especially for teenagers who are like going through puberty, that's hell. It seems like every day in puberty you wake up with something that is new and very problematic. Okay, so should I change the stream to like be public? Let's see here. Yeah, so like trans youth need support, and what the support looks like for them is very different than like as an adult. As an adult, my needs are largely medical and social. The younger you are, the more social your needs are primarily. So like if you're working with 8, 9, 10-year-old trans kids, using their name, using their pronouns, just affirming them in their gender and treating them appropriately is going to go so far. Puberty blockers are amazing and should be prescribed to any trans child that wants them, I think. Let's see here. Supporting trans youth in regards to dysphoria. I mean, we need to be having more talks with youth about mental health care in general, and I think we need to be talking with cisgender youth about how to be appropriate with trans people and how to have a little bit more of a flexible idea about gender. And that starts young, right? Like kids start enforcing gender roles and rules 4, 5, 6 years old. They start being like, oh, girls do this or boys do that. Correcting that early can go a long way. So like if you're a cisgender person with a cisgender child, just helping them see that those roles aren't real can do so much. Because then they're going to be supportive for trans kids who need it. Yeah, give me just 1 second. I'm going to like tab over here and change this stream to public. Let's see here. Boop doop doop. I'm not sure where I go to edit that. I was going to unlist it so I didn't get harassed, but you know what? I don't think I'm really worried about that. Everybody's being really well behaved. So can I go into like edit this? Is that a thing I can do right now? Oh, here we go, public. Okay, I'm hitting save. Hopefully this doesn't disconnect me. Okay, are we all good? Can you all still hear me? Oh, no, I just got an email about it, so I'm guessing that worked fine. So now I'm going to switch off of this question. Sorry, I'm still like, this is my first like real YouTube stream, so I'm learning a lot. Also, the sun is starting to go down. It's really beautiful. So I see here, Plant Role Models has a question, and I've got to kind of like scroll back up to the question so I can put it on my screen. There we go. Oh. Yeah, it's honestly really funny because like I have the same experience with trans masculine people. I don't have good advice because like I want to support my trans masculine friends, right? And I want them to feel so good and affirmed in their gender. There's a part of me that has no idea why anybody would choose to have masculine features. because like those feel so poisonous and toxic to me. It's weird to watch other people be like, that is what I want. So like I try to have a lot of like sympathy for the fact that like they're experiencing a lot of the same feelings that I felt, right? The things that make me feel dysphoric and awful are things that they treasure, and vice versa. So they're desperately hoping to have like deeper voices, or to grow facial hair. Facial hair alone, I'm like, oh, I'm happy for you, but like, I don't have suggestions for dealing with it. My suggestion there is that like that dysphoria is about you. Handle that the way you normally handle your dysphoria, right? There's a certain amount of like being aware of your dysphoria and just going, oh yeah, like I see you, dysphoria, thank you for trying to show me that something is wrong. But like there's only so much of that you can do, and I get that. And I don't have good advice for how to like mitigate that other than do the things you do to help you get through it when it comes. Close that one down. Okay, do I have dysphoria about a male hairline and to growing my hair alleviate it? So actually two things have happened here. One, yes. My hairline and my hair in general made me feel very dysphoric. Growing it has helped a lot. I actually really like it when I can like pull my hair back on like this. Excuse me for a second, like my allergies are making my voice like really scratchy and I hate it. I'm getting dysphoric right now. So it's a terrible idea. So like I do think I'm probably gonna have like a surgery to correct my hairline a little bit, like an operation. Hormones have helped a little bit. Hormones have caused my hairline to change in places, and that's still ongoing. So like, I used to have like really high hairline, like kind of almost like a widow's peak, and that's really evened out a lot as my hair has grown, but also like as the hormones have caused new hair to grow in places it wasn't before. So that's been really nice. But yeah, I'm gonna do more in terms of like correcting my hairline. And probably, I mean, I'm gonna grow my hair out. I want to be able to like braid it and like have it over my shoulder. I think that helps a lot. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Okay, so now we've got the stream public. We did that. I'm scrolling down. Okay, I think my chat's all caught up. So we are at 1 hour and 3 minutes. Wonderful. Usually at this point is kind of when I shift gears and I'm like, if you just have general transgender questions of any kind, you're really welcome to ask them now. We can keep talking about dysphoria, we can keep talking about dysmorphia, but like I really do want to allow you all space to just talk about whatever is pertinent to you. Tell you what, these allergies are killing me. I'm going to need medicine before I do another one of these. At least my eyes aren't watering. That'd kill me. I did a lot of work on this eye makeup. So, I mean, points I have written down to just go over about dysmorphia or dysphoria. Okay, here's one. What have I been up to today? Boom. Yeah, I actually might cut this a little early. Like, I am starting to feel like really dysphoric about my inability to manage my voice. Today I have been hanging up twinkle lights and curtains. And doing a lot of general tidying because I'm like stuck in my apartment, right? So I've been like trying to make the space more feminine and good for me. Um, um, I've also been just like, I got a Nintendo Switch, so I'm like really excited to play that, but I do have to do some work. I do web development, so I'm going to do a little bit of that after this is over. Only view from the link. Okay. I mean, I'm used to dealing with dysphoric feelings and with my dysphoria in general, and I do put myself through a little bit of it to help with things in the trans group. I do have like a lot of the things people will bring up in there, and like problems that they have or feelings that they have will cause me to feel dysphoria. And so like there's a lot of like learning good self-care. I do meditate, and that helps. I'm just learning to like watch those feelings and be mindful of them. Has been useful to me. Okay, y'all. Oh, this is a good question. Thank you for asking this, Darlie. I'm gonna put this on the screen. Any advice for people who are only out in online spaces and can't present at home? God, that's terrible. I've been there. There was a long period of time, like as I was just starting to transition, where like I was not out online, in public spaces, and like my family didn't know, and only a few friends did. Advice: look for the things that make you feel euphoria. Spend time with those. It can be a temptation to like go and hang out in trans only communities, but I find that to be like, okay, this is gonna be my last one because my voice is going. I find that that's kind of a cold comfort, because like then you're with all these other people who are further along and they're out and they're passing, and like that doesn't make you feel better. I used to play video games and play like explicitly feminine characters with a feminine name, and that helped. So if you're, really trapped and only can be out online, I do find video games like role-playing games can be really helpful. Sometimes I found like playing as a feminine character in like Dungeons and Dragons was useful because people didn't entirely question it. But that was, not always a winner. Okay. I have allergies. My voice is going. Like my throat really hurts right now. So I'm going to call this because I don't have any like lozenges or anything. I love you all very much. Please like and subscribe because that's what I'm supposed to say. And then like do feel free to like leave comments on this video. I will get back to them. I will type answers if I miss anything. You should definitely go to the Sounds Like Trans EDU group and subscribe there, join the group, come talk with us, ask questions, and learn. Alright, I love you all. I'm gonna call this now. Thank you.